Good morning. So I told you I was gonna make some sprout videos for you today. Um, so I was just gonna make mung beans because we just like to eat mung beans cooked like regular beans, but I soak all beans overnight before I cook them because they are absorbed better. They're easier on the digestive system once they're what's considered sprouted. You soak them for 24 hours. But normally the beans just swell, but less than 24 hours because I just put these in probably at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock yesterday morning. These are the mung beans. Let me see if I can reverse the camera. Nope. Okay. So these are the mung beans. I don't know if you can see, but they actually sprouted just in that little tiny amount of time. Less than 24 hours, they're already sprouted. So I decided I'm actually going to take some of these and sprout them and make mung bean sprouts because I love mung bean sprouts. So I got to get my setup ready and I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back and I have my supplies that I need. So, um, the easiest thing to do is just get mason jars. I store everything in mason jars because they're easy to reuse, and I do a lot of canning in the summertime when I'm gardening. So, like flour, nuts, all of those kinds of things, they all go in mason jars. Um, and getting some kind of screen like this. So you can use cheesecloth. You could use the ring. Let me see. I have one somewhere. So you could get cheesecloth and you could just use the wide mouth ring and put cheesecloth over the top and do this right here. But cheesecloth sometimes I struggled with it. It would sometimes get moldy. So I purchased one of these. I actually got two for $10. So they're really nice. They screw right on top of your jar and they have a screen in them. And that'll make sense why you need the screen in a second. So once you have your clean jar, your clean lid, you start by adding whatever you're going to be sprouting. So I'm going to do two things today. I'm going to do the mung beans because I just saw these sprouted and made me want mung bean sprouts. So I just decided to do it. So I'm going to put 4 tablespoons or maybe more because these mung beans are bigger. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with 8 tablespoons. The bigger the bean is, the more you want in there so you actually get quite a few sprouts. The smaller they are, they sprout a lot, so you only use 2 or 3 tablespoons. But I did 8 tablespoons. You can see that's not very much. And these are already soaked for 24 hours. So that's the first piece, and I'll show you when I do the broccoli sprouts. So these have already soaked. So the first thing I need to do is rinse them. They get rinsed every single day. So I'm going to rinse them. Fill them up with water. You put the lid on and then you just pour it off. That's one of the reasons the screen is helpful. The other is you don't want, you need air to be able to get into this without allowing any bugs or mice or anything to get in there. So it really holds on to a lot of water. So what you do is you take this. Everything's kind of a mess right now, sorry. You take it, you set it upside down like that, and you let the water drain. So that needs to, it's not time for it to drain yet. I just wanted to show you that. So the next thing is you put water in it again and you let it sit for 10 minutes. So this is fresh water. It's going to sit for 10 minutes. If you're a filtered water person, use filtered water. I do tap water for everything. It's just who I am. I drink tap water. I'm just not into filtering things. I'd drink filtered water out of the refrigerator if it didn't take 20 years to get into my cup. But it takes too long, and I'm an impatient person. All right, I'm going to pause you and get the stuff to make the broccoli sprouts. All right, I'm back, and I have this stuff for broccoli seeds now. So I have another jar and lid. I only usually do 2 kinds of sprouts. And usually I have them rotating, so I'll do one kind of sprouts 1 week, and then the next, sometimes I just don't make sprouts because I forget about it. But Brittany's picture of her broccoli sprouts remind me. Broccoli sprouts are like the healthiest way to get sulforaphanes, which is really good for you. And that comes from cruciferous vegetables, so like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. These are like really, really, really good foods, so we need to get some of them in as much as possible. So the best one is broccoli sprouts. So I'm only going to do 2 tablespoons of broccoli sprouts because I don't know if you can see, but the seeds are really tiny. And so there's a lot of seeds in 2 tablespoons, which means the sprouts will take up a lot of space. You start with just a couple of tablespoons, and then when you're done, this whole thing will be full of sprouts. So, again, I store everything in jars, the broccoli seeds, because they're really reusable, better than plastic. I try not to use single-use plastic anyways. So these have to soak in water for 24 hours. So you're going to rinse them just like before. Got that fancy lid. Rinse them. Drain the water off. You always want to rinse, 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 rinse. And you can put the water straight into the wire mesh. You don't have to take the lid off to put water in. It just goes right in the top. You do want to make sure that you get any seeds that might be like lingering on the lid, so you can just like take it and roll it around like this. I'm trying to make sure I do it over my sink though, so it's not. And then rinse it. I usually rinse them 2 times. And then I put the water in so that they're all covered, which is not difficult for this one. But I want to make sure I get all of them off the top of the screen. All right, we're good. So, I need to grab a towel. So the next part is they need to soak for 24 hours in a dark place. So we have a spot in our cabinet that is set aside for fermenting and sprouting things because we ferment and sprout things. So I am going to take this and I'm going to stick it in there. And I'm going to ask my husband, who's way better at this, to put a reminder in his phone to rinse the broccoli sprouts tomorrow. He's just demonstrating that he's using his phone for something else. But he's doing it. He's so great. So I'm going to take this one and put it down in the cabinet, which is right there. And this one, now that it's been soaking, I'm going to rinse it. Drain all of this water out. I usually do the good old shake. Now, the next part is you lay it on its side, okay, so that all of your sprouts have more room, and then you put this in the cabinet again, and it stays in the cabinet. Now, I will add to the video tomorrow when I check the sprouts, okay? All right, so this is day 2 of sprouting for the mung beans, for the broccoli seeds, and day 3 for the mung beans. So I just pulled the mung beans out, and you can see they're sprouting up really nicely. And so I'm going to run some water in here, shake it up, pour it out. So a good rinse. And then the next time I run water in there, and I'm going to sit it on the counter and let it soak for 10 minutes. Our broccoli sprouts have been soaking overnight, and so we're going to drain them and rinse. And I'm going to put them down on top of a towel, which I have right here, upside down like this so that they can drain really good, while the other ones are soaking for 10 minutes. I'm going to pause and I'll be back in a moment.
What's that?
All right, now that the water is drained, I'm going to give it another shake to make sure it comes out. Then you do the same thing we did before. You shake it out sideways and you make sure that they're kind of as even as possible. And then this goes in the cabinet on its side like this. And then same thing with this. I'm going to drain it out really good. Put the seeds on their side. Shake it out and then lay it on its side like this. And remember, they need to go in a dark cabinet, and I will check back in with you tomorrow. Hello, it's day 3 of sprouting. So I'm going to get our sprouts out. And I noticed that bigger beans sprout a lot faster. So like if you can look at that, those are our mung bean sprouts. This is day 3 for them. They soaked 1 day longer than the broccoli sprouts, which I'll show you in a second. So just like before, we just kind of shake it down and we're going to give them a rinse. And then we just soak them in some cold water, and we're going to soak for 10 minutes. And then you might be able to notice, because it's really difficult with the broccoli sprouts until they really start to sprout. They are starting to like open up, but it doesn't happen as fast with them. So gonna shake them down, give them the rinse first. And then soak them in water, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. Well, really, do I need to come back? You know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drain all of the water off and put it back underneath the cabinet, and I'll see you on day 4. Hello, I'm back with the sprouts, and I can't even remember what day it is, but you can see these are our mung bean sprouts, how they're turning out right now. We need to soak them again for 10 minutes. And then drain them again, lay them on their side, and put them back in the cabinet. And then these are our broccoli sprouts. I don't know if you can tell, but they are starting to sprout in there. Broccoli seeds take a little bit longer than some of the bigger seeds, which I think I mentioned. But once they really get going, they will fill this whole entire jar up. So eventually, you'll be good to go. So I'm going to soak both of these for 10 minutes, drain them really well, put them back in the dark cabinet, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. I forgot about the sprouts yesterday afternoon, but here is what they look like this morning. So these are the broccoli sprouts. You can see they're finally starting to sprout. Again, like we still have some time that we need to keep them in. And then the mung bean sprouts, look at those. They're really getting it. This one is almost done. Look at that. So we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. I'm going to rinse them, soak them a little bit, and put them back in the cabinet on their sides. See ya. Good morning. I don't want to forget about the sprouts today, and it's Saturday, and I have a lot of things happening, so I will forget. It's 6:20 in the morning. Our mung beans are done. See that? I'm just going to give them a really good rinse and drain them well and stick them in the refrigerator now. And they last, you can see how full it is when it's like this. They last about, just like any sprout in the refrigerator, it lasts a week or so. They don't last that long in our house because my husband eats everything up. But you do want to make sure that you drain them really, really well before you stick them in the refrigerator this last time. So I give them like a really, really, really good rinse. Shake up the water in there. Really good. And then make sure you put your jar at 45-degree angle when you set it up, because if you put it up like this, all the sprouts will go down and block the screen. So I put it on an angle. And if you want to see the way I have it over here, it's just sitting on the angle, drying on my mat. The broccoli sprouts, remember, the broccoli sprouts are a day behind the mung bean sprouts, but also they take a little bit longer to sprout. So I'm going to rinse them, soak, and return to the cabinet. These might be a couple of days away still, but we'll see. Bye. Good morning. It is Sunday, which means it's 1 week from when we started soaking these. And if you want to take a look, these are our broccoli sprouts. I'm going to let them go for like one more day just because I really like the ones. If you can see here on the bottom, there's still some that haven't sprouted yet. So I like to shake it up like this, give it a rinse. And then I'm going to soak them just like I did before for 10 minutes and then put them back for one more day. At least. And we'll see how they are tomorrow. The mung bean sprouts, I let them go another day. You can see they completely filled the jar. And if you want to see what it looks like when they come out, they're just like nice and pretty. So these, let me taste. We'll do a taste test. So the freshness, like I just don't think you can compare making your own to like what you get in the store. When I buy mung bean sprouts in the store, which I have, because I love mung bean sprouts, especially in my Asian cooking, they go slimy super fast. They're in the package and there's a lot of moisture. It's just no good. This is so delicious and way less expensive. So, and plus you still have the fibery shell on it. So 100% recommend. These are so delicious. When these are ready, they will also be delicious. You can see them soaking in the water there. So Yay! I'll see you again soon. All right, so today is the last day for the broccoli sprouts. They are all done, and I'm just gonna pull them out. I've shook them up a whole lot already. You can see they're all nice and sprouted. And that's 2 tablespoons of sprouts right there. So these are now going to go in the refrigerator, and we'll be able to add them to all of our delicious dishes. And you saw the picture of my sandwich that I made with the mung bean sprouts yesterday. So I'm going to take all of my videos and put them in one reel. I think I should be able to do that. I don't know. We're going to try. And post it so you all can see the progression of the sprouts and how I sprouted the mung beans and the broccoli seeds. And just so you know, you can do this with any seed or bean. I do it with lentils too, which is really delicious. Lentil sprouts are my favorite sprouts to taste, but the broccoli sprouts are the best for you. This is like pure gold to your gut. So if you want to get something really good, but these are so expensive. And I got a pound of broccoli sprouts like 6 months ago for $10. Sounds like a lot, but I'm still using the same pound of broccoli sprouts to make sprouts 6 months later. So it's not really that much. When you buy broccoli sprouts, it's like $5 for one of those little plastic things. Plus, you aren't wasting the plastic, right? The plastic every time you buy sprouts and all of that. So there's double feature there. So anyways, have the most awesome day. I can talk. And I will send you this video soon.